All right, boys, we've got the end of the season coming up. Again, June the 4th is actually going to kick off Season of Opulence, and Season of the Drifter is on its way out. As Bungie states right here, as Season of the Drifter comes to a close, a new source of powerful rewards will emerge. The Drifter will return to his role as your Gambit hype man, and Benedict 9940 is about to become your source for brand new secrets and rewards. Let's take a look at how a new perspective will be making some sweeping changes to your weekly routine. Power Search. Instead of a set of bounties, a new Power Search quest will be your jumping off point for Season of Opulence. You will need to complete this quest to access the new raid. Learning from Season of the Forge, this quest must be completed only once per account. After one character completes the quest, alternate characters will be rewarded with surge gear at power level 690. Alright, wow, that's going to really put a kink in plans. If the quest is like really long, what's going to ultimately end up happening, everyone that's like getting ready to power grind right after the new season goes live, this might really put a damper on it. Again, depending on how long the quest is. Bungie here stating though that learning from Season of the Forge was the example they provided there makes me think that the quests might be pretty lengthy, given that many of the forges took close to like an hour to 2 hours in order to complete and unlock. Moving on to Gambit bounties. We didn't want rewards from the Drifter to be one of the primary sources of power following his run as the central character for Season of the Drifter. As a result, power boosts received from Gambit bounties will decrease once you've achieved 700 power. They will decrease even further once you reach 720. Obviously, guys, whatever new activities is being provided to us in the next season is what Bungie here is going to want us to jump into. Moving on to Prime Attunements. On day 1, Prime Attunements will be reset to 2 charges for each player. You'll receive 2 new Prime Attunements even if you were playing right up to reset. They state here that we want you to be able to play your favorite character without it impacting your power level strategy. We talked about this in a previous TWAB. Now moving on to the juicy stuff in today's TWAB, Crown of Sorrow Raid. Yes, that's the name, and it states here that the raid will begin on day 1 of Season of Opulence at 4 p.m. Pacific time zone. Now again, in order to actually access the raid, you have to complete the Power Search quest. They also state here that they've taken additional steps to level the playing field for the World First status. Bungie states here that all players' power will be capped at power under each encounter within the raid for the first 24 hours. They state here, while the contest is active, players will face an enforced challenge throughout the raid. This means power beyond certain levels will provide no advantage for a given fight. So for example, for the first fight, all power above 700 won't provide an advantage, and for the final fight, power above 720 will not provide an advantage. This is really interesting, and again, like I said in the previous TWAB videos, a lot of the steps that I feel like that are going to be taken in this season right here is in preparation for like Bungie's long game with Destiny. Capping out the power to where you don't get any type of major advantages is a really interesting move on Bungie's part. Now, that's not to say you're not going to get any type of advantages. Obviously, gaining 20 levels right after reset is going to be pretty dang difficult. I know there's a lot of people with like prep guides right now. I've also been prepping in order to gain levels quickly right after reset, but with that added quest, this is really going to take away a lot of time. I don't know. It's just going to be interesting. Obviously, Bungie is trying to just keep the field here level for all players within that first 24 hours. Now, moving on to Eververse. Yes, Season of Opulence is actually going to have some Eververse changes. First up, you'll now have access to direct picks. Every new Eververse item in Season of Opulence will be available for direct purchase via Silver or Bright Dust. Most of these offers will be time limited with new items available weekly. Bungie's also bringing back the greatest hits here though in Season of Opulence, as Bright Ingrams will contain a collection of community favorite legacy items with the focus on the best of year 1. So if you missed out on spicy ramen, selfie emotes, Season of Opulence is your chance. Also, if you're interested in what the new interface is going to look like, this is going to be it. Now, moving on to some things that are going to be affecting certain weapons. Bungie states here that after Season of the Drifter concludes on June 4th, the following weapons will be unavailable to unlock at their respective vendors for a limited time. They state here that an issue was discovered late in development and we are working on a fix for a future patch. So the service Revolver from Zavala will not be available for a certain time, as well as Last Perdition. I gotta say, that's some crazy timing, considering that Luna's Hound and Not Forgotten are both being like kind of nerfed, pretty much nerfed next season. Service Revolver was looking to be like the next hot thing. So if you do not happen to have that hand cannon, I advise you get it now. I think it requires like 40 strike completions. I can't remember the exact thing you have to do to get it, But for those that are looking for a god roll for it, in the description below is actually a link to a review for that weapon. A very nasty 180 round per minute hand cannon. Now Bungie goes on to state here that players who have already unlocked these year 2 variants will continue to receive them as random drops from rank up packages. Players who do not unlock these weapons by June 4th deadline will be able to acquire the weapons once they are addressed in a future patch. It's worth noting that the pursuit rewards such as the Recluse, Oxygen, and 21% Delirium will continue to be available. Alright, so for those that are actually saving those pinnacle weapons to pick up after the new season starts, they should be leveled up. I would assume so. So guys, that's pretty much the TWAB this week. Let me know what you think. Again, I like the changes that are coming to raids, especially being a day 1 raid like this. It's a level playing field. And as someone who's been kind of like overwhelmed, especially in the leveling process leading up to the raids, I don't know, this is pretty interesting, and I'm actually really looking forward to this. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.